during the lockdown, you might have come across this site. It's called Drive and Listen, and it's created by a person called Erkam. So you can, if you go to the Buy My Coffee link here, you can see the person who created the site. So he created this awesome site that lets you drive through different cities and basically travel while in lockdown. So when I first saw this site, I was very impressed, and I wanted to create one like this one. So that is what we are going to do today. So today we are trying to clone this app, which is Drive and Listen. So what the things that we should be able to do is we should be able to have a view like this, and we should be able to switch between different cities, and obviously have a local FM. We played, paused, or switched between the radio stations. Then we should be able to change the car speed, which is, if you can see, the speed has been increased. So all these things we are going to do in this video. So if you're interested in that, stick till the end, as we'll be creating all of this in this video. So let's get started with the video. So we'll create 3 files, which is, first one is the index.html, which will be the markup for the site. Then we'll have the style.css, which will be the styling, and we'll have the script.js, which will be the JavaScript file for this project. I've installed the extension, VS Code extension for Embed. So this will create a boilerplate, and we'll change the title to Drive and Listen. And for now, let's add a h1 tag and type Drive and Listen. Okay, and we'll save that. We'll right click and we'll do open with live server. So I've installed live server as well. It's a extension, VS Code extension, so I'll be using that. So we have that HTML file here, so we'll just resize it. So now let's link the style.css and the script.js file. So we'll link CSS. So this links the style.css, and we'll do the same for the script.js as well. So script.js, and now we have linked the script and the style. So if we take a look at this original site, one thing which we can know is that this is basically a YouTube video. So this video that is being played in the background, this one, is just a YouTube video. So what we have to do is we have to use a YouTube video to load it and make it look like this. We'll be embedding YouTube videos into this site. So we'll do YouTube embed, and when we search that, you can see that there are different ways of embedding a YouTube video. One is you can just go into a YouTube video and have that embed code from the video itself. But since we have a lot of lists and all those things, we'll be using the iframe API, and based on that, we'll be loading that from the JavaScript dynamically. So when we go to the iframe API reference, you can see that there is some requirements that is given, and to get started, they are saying that we only need this HTML tag, which is the ID div with an ID of player. So we'll remove the h1 tag, and then what they want us to put this inside there, inside the JavaScript. So I'll go through what it is saying, but first let's copy paste that here. Okay, and when we save that and see here, you can see we have a video playing here. Okay, so we have embedded a YouTube video onto the site. but it's not custom. We have a lot of work to do. So first, let's style this. To do that, we'll go into the style.css, and you can see that there is a margin and a padding. So first we'll remove those. Box sizing, border box, and we'll do margin of 0 and padding of 0. So this makes it stick to the end. Then let's make this video take the whole screen. Okay, so to do that, we'll go into the script.js. We are not going to do that in CSS, but within the script.js script.js itself. So we have a height and width parameter here. So first let's go through this one. So we have added a div with an ID of player. So here we are saying that we need to create a script tag, and we need to set the src of that as the iframe API. Then we are injecting that script.js, which is this one, script tag, into the HTML. Okay, and that is how we are basically loading the iframe into the DOM. Based on this API, this function gets called when the iframe is ready. So this has all the player details, so the player height and which video to play, and the parameters that are in there. Also we have some events. So when what the player must do when the player is ready, what should it do when the state changes. All those things are here, which is basically two different functions. We'll go through those in detail in a bit. First, let's change the height and width. So to change the height, we'll take the inner height of the window. So we'll take the inner height of the window, and basically we'll just increase the size. So we'll make it 1.2 times the inner height. Okay, now we'll do the same for the width as well, but generally we want the width we want the video to be of 16:9 aspect ratio. So we'll since this is a height, we'll multiply it by a factor of 16:9 so that the aspect ratio is maintained. Okay, so now when we save that, you can see that video takes place the whole screen, but it's scrollable now, but we'll change that in a bit. So now let's add some parameters here. Okay, so what are the parameters that we can add? So if we go into the API reference, you can see that in the player parameters, there are different parameters that are given here in the documentation itself. So we'll be using these to customize this player, not this one, this player even more. So first one is that we do not want to show any controls in the player. So we'll set the controls as 0. We want the video to be on mute when it's starting to play. So we'll set the mute to 1. We do not want to show the info, which is the title and all those things. So we'll set that to 0. We want the ability to control the player from the JavaScript itself. So we'll enable the JS API. So we'll set it to 1. Then we do not want the keyboard shortcuts to take place. So if we, as you know, if we hit L, it skips 10 seconds forward, and J to skips 10 seconds backwards, K to play and pause. We do not want to do that. So we'll disable the keyboard shortcuts. So we'll do disable KB, which is the keyboard, and we'll set this to 1. So we are getting all the parameters from here. So you can check the documentation if you want to check what are the other parameters that are available. We'll also do modest branding. So this reduces the branding that is that we can see on the YouTube video itself. So since we are using the enable.js API, we want to set the origin of the of this request. So we'll do window dot not location dot origin, and we'll set the widget referrer as well. So widget referrer as window dot location dot href. Okay, so we'll save that. So now if we see that it plays automatically, now the full screen is working, but other than that keyboard shortcuts won't work, and all those things have been done. So now we need to disable this play and pause and this click events. So those things we are going to do in styling. So let's jump into the style.css, set the ID of player. So here we'll disable all the pointer events. So pointer events none, and we'll send this video to the back. Send this video backwards. So we'll set a negative z index. So we'll set a z index of -99. We'll save that. Also we'll set the height and width, and we'll disable the overflow so that it does not show it like this. So we'll do body, and we'll set the height as 100 viewport height, and here itself we'll add the overflow hidden. So now there is no scroll here, and the pointer events are not working. We want the video to be a little bit higher because there's a lot of space down below. So we'll add a transform of translate y, and we'll add a -5%. So this will move the whole video upwards a little bit. Okay, so the video part is basically done. So now we need to be able to load this video dynamically. So at present you can see that we are giving the video ID here, and we are loading that video into this into the HTML file. So we want to change this video such that on clicking the sidebar here, we should be able to change the video here. So first we need a list or a data of videos or videos and music that will be played. So how can we get the data for this site? So it's pretty simple. First you go to youtube.com, and we'll search say Delhi drive through videos. Cool. So we'll find this video which is driving in Delhi. Also this channel I found it very useful for collecting the data for this app. So this has a lot of cities and driving videos in here. So you can check this channel out, keep on driving. There are a lot of other channels as well. So how are we going to do is, we're going to create a database. So we're not going to create a database, but we'll try to emulate that. So first we'll have a data array. So in here we'll have an object, and the object, there will be few parameters. One is the city. So city, say the city is Delhi, okay, and I want videos of Delhi, and I also want music of Delhi, so that we can play it in the FM. Okay, so we need these two things. So to get the videos, we'll go here, and basically we'll copy the link address from here, come here, paste it here, and this is the ID part. So we'll just remove the first part from here. Okay, so we have one video. So if we want the second video, we'll just copy link from here, paste it here, and like this. So this will give the videos. Now to get the FM music, we are going to use a site called radio.garden. So if you go to radio.garden, it's a very useful site. I found this site very useful, and it's really cool too. I mean, you can go around in different parts of the world and listen to the local radio. It's a very cool site. Do check this site out. We were searching Delhi, so we'll go to Delhi, and we can see that there are different FM. I'll pause the audio because I do not want to get copyright strike for the playing music, which I am not authorized to. I'll click F12 and open the inspector, and here I'll go into the network tabs, basically close this one, and let me just resize it a little bit. Okay, so if I click, say, this one here, you can see a network call has taken place. Okay, its station is unreachable. Okay, so we'll take a station that is available. So you can see that some audio will not be playing because this site also has a course error. In our site, when we place such links, we'll have the issue as well. So keep that in mind. So we'll take any other from here. Basically, it's a trial and error process. It's a trial and error process to get the link. So I've changed the XHR to all, so you can see that here there is a link which is the radioindia.net/radio mirchi 98. So we are playing the 98.3 FM, and we'll basically copy this link from here. Okay, come into our code here, and we'll have it pasted here, and we'll remove this everything after this question mark. Okay, so we have added one audio. Similarly, to add another audio, say we'll go into this site again, we'll select another radio station, and we'll come here, and you can see that there is an audio stream. Okay, playing the audio, this audio stream. So you have to search that, get the link from there, come into our site and paste it here, and we have to remove the query parameters, and we'll save that. So we have created audio and music for the city of Delhi. So I already created a data set for different cities. It's a small data set, but it has quite a few data in there. So I'll just paste that here so that we do not have to go through all cities and basically have all the data loaded right now, so as it will take some time. So I have I have pasted the link here, pasted the database here. So I have quite a few cities here with at least 3 or 4 music and audio video tracks. So you can check the code out. If you want to use the same data set, you can check the code from my Buy Me a Coffee page. The link to that is given in the description. So you can check out the code and have the entire data set from there. So we'll just collapse that here. So the basic structure is, inside an array there are different objects, and inside each of the object there is a city, there is videos, and there is music. Okay, so we'll be using this inside our video. So now what we'll do is we'll create this sidebar. So it won't look like this exactly, but it will look somewhat like this. So we need icons for this. So you can see there is an eye icon here, and there is play pause button here. So we need icons for all of this. So we'll import a library called Font Awesome. So we'll use Font Awesome CDN, and we'll go into that site and we'll copy this link tag. Okay, and we'll come into our code and go into the HTML, and we'll paste that link here. Okay, so now we have imported the Font Awesome library. Now let's create the HTML for the sidebar. First we'll have it covered in a div with a class of sidebar. So inside the sidebar we'll first have the heading. So if we look here, we have the heading here, which is the drive and listen. Okay, and inside there we have this section here. So we'll call it location. So we'll have it wrapped inside a container. So we'll have a location container, and inside the location container we'll have an h4 tag, which will have that text there, which is scroll down for more cities. Then beneath that will have the cities location, cities link, which is inside a div with the class of locations, and inside that we'll have an unordered list. It will have an ID of locations, and in here we'll have individual list items, which will be, say, Mumbai. We'll load this location dynamically from the data, but for now let's just enter few cities here. So we have a list items. This is just for styling part. We'll have this loaded dynamically. So now beneath the location container, so this is basically this section. So now we need this one, which is the car speed. So we'll put that in a class of video speed, and in here we'll have an h4 tag of car speed, and we'll create a div with a class of speed, and it will have an ID of speed as well. So for now let's have those entered here. So we'll have 0.5x, 1x, 1.5x and 2x. Okay, so that's the video speed part. Now we need to be able to mute and unmute. So street noise is basically just we are muting it and we are unmuting it. So we'll add a class of car noise, and similarly we'll add a h4 of car noise, and initially we'll have a div with a class of mute and id of mute, and in here we'll put a text of off, and we'll change that text when we click here. Okay, so now we need the FM part. We'll wrap it in a class of audio, and in there we'll add h4 of car audio. Okay, this is not just like this one. There's a bit of change in the car audio. You can say I'm adding my own spin to it. We'll have a class of audio controls, and basically it will be all the controls in here. So to have the play, pause, play, next and previous button, so we'll have an I with the class of FA and FA step backward. So this will be the previous button, and it will have a ID of we'll have it the hidden property true. We'll paste that here, and we'll change this to step forward, and we'll change this to play, and we'll change the ID to play here, and we'll change the ID to next here. Okay, then we'll have the outside the audio controls, outside the controls, which is this one, and still within the audio controls we'll have the volume slider. So we'll create a div with a class of volume, and here we'll create an input with the type of range. Okay, and the minimum value is 1 and the max value is 100. We'll set the initial value as 50, which is 50% of the audio. We can play, you can set as you want. Anyway, we will be changing this. We can change this in JavaScript as well. So it's just a basic value, and we'll set the ID as volume. Now outside the audio controls div, we'll add the audio tag. So we'll audio, we'll set the src from one of the audio that we have taken from here. So we'll copy this audio India music from there, and we'll paste that here. This is just for the initial testing. We'll load everything dynamically from the JavaScript. So we'll set the cross origin and autoplay. Okay, we'll set an ID also, so because we want to manipulate this from JavaScript. So we'll set that, and we'll save that, and when we save that, we can see a lot of things have been populated here. That's because the autoplay was enabled and the music got loaded and it just played. So I am commenting that out for now. We'll set all of that in a second. So we'll also have the I button, which is the toggle for the sidebar. So beneath the player, we'll have a div with a class of sidebar toggle, and in there we'll have a font awesome icon, which is which is basically the eye icon. So in here we'll change this to FAI, and we'll also give it a class of white because we want to set it a color of white. We can do it another way also, but let's just keep it this way. And we'll also give this an ID of toggle. So ID of toggle, and say that you can see all the data is here, but when the video is loaded it gets covered. So we'll just change all of that in the styling right now. So we'll go to the style.css and we'll take the sidebar, and first let's put the z index so that it's on top of everything, and we'll set the z index as 99. Now let's set the position for the sidebar. So we want to position it absolute, and we want it to be on the top right. So we'll set top of 0 and we'll set a right of 0. So you can see all the text has been loaded here. So we'll set a padding of 10 pixel. We'll add a max width of 250 pixel. We'll set the width as 40% of the viewport width, and we'll set the height as 100 viewport height. So it takes the section takes the whole part. So we'll set the color as white, and we'll set a background color as well. So we'll do RGBA of 000, which is black, and we'll add an opacity of 0.4. So this is how it looks right now. So I do not like this font, I want to change it. So I'll go into the Google font site and I'll search for Poppins. I'll select this style and I'll take the import and just copy the import from there, and in the style.css I'll paste that here, and in the 100 I'll just add 200, 400 and 700. So that is basically the weight of the font. Okay, and we'll set that font in the body of font family of Poppins sans serif. So you can see the font looks better now. Okay, so now let's style this part. So we'll display it flex, and we want the flex direction to be column, and that's it. Now let's style the H2 inside the sidebar. So sidebar H2, we want to align it center. Let's position the sidebar toggle, which is the I button. So we'll have the position absolute, and we'll set it same as the other one, which is top 0 and right 0, and we'll put a z index of 100, and we'll add a padding of 5 pixel. We still can't see it because I think it's there. You can see it's black, but it's visible. So let's make it white. So as you remember, we had added a class of white to the eye icon. So we'll add a color of white, and we'll add a background color of RGBA, which is this same one, and we'll add a border radius of 50% because we want it to be a bit rounded. So now it's white, and we'll add a padding of 5 pixel. Okay, so now we have styled the I button and the drive text. Now let's style this section, which is the location container. So we'll take the div with the class of location container. Okay, and we'll add a background color of our black. We'll add a border of 1 pixel solid white, white, and we'll add a border radius of 2 pixel so that it's just a bit rounded, and we'll add a margin of 20 pixel top and bottom and 0 pixel left and right. So if we save that, not that, if we save that, you can see it's become like this. So now let's style the h4 tag within that. We'll do location container h4, and we'll set the width to inherit, and we'll set the background color to a light grayish color. So we'll do RGBA 255, 255, 255, and we'll do 0.3. Save that. You can see it's just a little bit of white, and we'll add a padding of 10 pixel, and we'll do a text align center. We'll reduce the font size to 0.8 rem. Then we'll add a border bottom as same as the other one. So it will be 1 pixel solid white. So you can see this is styled. So now let's style each of these items. So first let's take the div with the class of locations, which is the container that contains all of it, and we'll set a max height of 25 viewport height, and we'll set the overflow Y as a scroll so that there is the scrolling that's available for here. So if we add, say, one more line and make this, say, Bhopal, so you can see now there is a scroll that is available. Okay, so made it scrollable. Now let's style the individual line items, which is dot locations of and within the location we want the list elements, which is the li, and we want to we'll set a padding first of 2 pixel top and bottom and 5 pixel of left and right, and we'll set a border bottom similar to that we had here, so you can see it's better. And we'll set the cursor to pointer so that it's not the other text cursor, and we'll reduce the font size as well. We'll set it to 0.9 root element. Yep, 0.9 looks better. So now we want the hover action. So if say dot location li of hover, we want the background color to have the same white, so we'll add that. So now when we hover over it, you can see there is a hover action, and we want to know which city is being playing right now. So if the li has an active class with it, we want to add background color, the same background color. So now there is no active class here, but when we come into HTML and say for Delhi, if I add a class of active, you can see that Delhi is now active. So now we can know which city is being played right now. So now let's style this car speed part. So we'll come here, we'll take the class of speed which has everything, and we'll display flex, and we'll flex wrap, and we'll justify content space around, so that separates everything from each other. So now let's style the container as a whole. So the container was video speed. So we'll set a margin of 5 pixel top and bottom and 0 pixel left and right, and we'll style the h4 tag within the video speed, and we'll set the text align center, and we'll add a padding of 5 pixel top and bottom. So now it's centralized. Now let's style the p tag, which is this individual tags. So dot speed, and within that we'll have the p tag, and the p tag we want the cursor to be pointer. So now you can see this is the cursor. So when we say that, it becomes pointer. We'll add a padding of 10 pixel, and we'll add a background color of the same black one, which is this one. We'll add a border same as the one we used before, so you can see that. We'll add a 2 pixel border radius just to give it a little bit of rounded. Now when we hover over this one also, we need the color change. So we'll do speed p hover, and we'll copy this color from here, paste that here. And when there is a class of active, then also we want the same thing. So when the class of active is there, we want the color to be there. So we'll change, we'll add a class of active to this one, so you can see that the color is, there is a white background in the background. So let's now style the car noise, which is this one. So we'll set the car noise class, and we'll do text align center, and we'll add a padding of 5 pixel top and bottom, 0 pixel left and right. And the H4 within that, so car noise H4, we'll add the same padding which we added to the car speed, so which is 5 pixel top and bottom and 0 pixel left and right. We'll take the class of mute, and we'll basically copy paste this. Actually, you know what, we'll just add a comma here and add a mute here, and we'll add the same thing here, which is dot mute hover. So now there is a hover animation. So now let's style the last part, which is the car audio. So we'll take the class of audio, and we'll text align center. We'll add a background color of GBA 0.4. So we'll add a margin of 20 pixel top and bottom and 0 pixel left and right. Set a border radius of 2 pixel, and we'll add a border of 1 pixel solid white. Okay, so now let's add the styling to the H4 tag, which is the audio H4. We'll do text align center, and we'll set the background color as our white color. We'll add a border bottom of 1 pixel solid white. Okay, so now let's add the styling to the audio controls. So audio controls, display flex direction, column. We'll add, take the controls class, and we'll add a padding of 15 pixel top and bottom, 0 pixel left and right, and we'll display flex. We'll set the flex direction of row and we'll justify content space around, and we'll set a border bottom of 1 pixel solid white. Now let's add a style to the volume, which is padding of 15 pixel top and bottom and 0 pixel left and right. So we have completed the styling part. So now it looks kind of good, but now we need to make this dynamic. We need to load this data from this video and this audio, and we need to be able to control the player and play these things.